Buyer behaviors. The consumer decision-making process involves 5 steps. The first step is the problem recognition. So it involves the consumer recognizing that he or she needs something, has run out of something, or has an interest in something. The need can be a physical need or want, such as thirst or hunger. It can be a social need, such as seeing a friend with the latest new cell phone or a new car. It can be a psychological need or want, such as purchasing a new outfit to wear to feel good about themselves. Many purchases are triggered by running out of something, such as groceries, food, beverages, but advertising can also trigger a need or want. After watching an ad for jeans, for example, Denise decides she would like to buy a new pair. The second step in the consumer decision-making process is the information search. And this happens internally as well as externally. So the internal search for information is a mental activities. They search for memories for information. They think about brands they've purchased in the past. If the brand has met their need in the past and the experience was good, it's very likely they'll buy the same brand again. If not, they'll conduct a longer internal search or move on to the external search for additional information. The external search for information normally occurs under 3 conditions. Either the consumer was not happy with their last purchase experience, or it's a high involvement decision, such as purchasing a new car, so the consumer wants more information. Or third, it's a socially visible product and the consumer wants to make sure others will approve. So maybe that's searching for a new phone, for example. The amount of time consumers spend searching for information depends on their ability to search for the information, their level of motivation to search for the information, and the perceived cost of searching versus the perceived benefit. So for example, how much time are you willing to put into researching a new vacuum that you are thinking of buying? And will all that search time really yield you a better vacuum for the time that you are investing in the research process? The third step is the evaluation of the alternatives. So the information search and the evaluation of alternatives are really the most critical steps in this decision-making process. So here, we want to understand how consumers evaluate brands and products, and by understanding that, then we can create effective marketing messages. After a purchase decision is made, we as the marketers want to affirm our customer that they have made the right decision, and we want to remove any buyer's remorse that they may have by instilling in them confidence that they made the best decision. In the business to business sector, people still make purchase decisions. The process that is used is different, which means marketers will have to use a different approach. Often more than one person is involved in the decision. Also, corporate policies can restrict decisions, and rules can affect purchase activities. Factors such as cost, quality, and profit margins will also influence the decision. In many business purchase decisions, a buying center concept is used. So it's usually not an official group, but individuals play various roles in the buying center. Each role can have more than one person, and one person can also serve in more than one of the roles. So the users are who is actually going to use the good or service within the organization. So they basically say, since I'm the one who's actually going to use this product, you should listen to me. Buyers are the individuals who have the authority within the company to make the actual purchase. Influencers are those who shape the decision by providing important information or criteria. Deciders are people who can authorize the purchase decisions, and gatekeepers. These are the people who control the flow of information to members of the buying center. So marketing to a business involves understanding these roles and identifying the individuals within the company that are serving in these roles. Because members of the buying center are people, there's a number of individual factors that influence the buying process. And it can become a really complex social organization when a number of people become involved in buying decisions. Roles and perceived roles, motivational levels, and attitudes towards risk are examples of individual factors that affect members of business buying centers. Buying decisions can be classified into three categories: straight rebuy, a modified rebuy, and a new task. So with a straight rebuy, the current vendor is contacted and a new order is placed. An example would be reordering raw materials from the same vendor. Alternatives are not considered, and you're just purchasing again the way you have purchased in the past. With a modified rebuy, a company is open to new vendors, and they will evaluate the current vendor as well as new possibilities. And a new task buy is when a company is making a purchase with little to no experience. So really then the vendors help in the process and really need to educate the buying center about their product or service. Similar to the consumer decision-making process, the first step in the business-to-business buying process is the recognition of a problem or the identification of a need. So it may be a need for raw materials or a new company car or maybe a new distribution center. The second step is to establish objectives. So it's important to do this before vendors are contacted. That way you can make sure that the decision that you make is unbiased. The third step involves identifying possible vendors or requesting proposals. The next step is evaluating and then selecting your vendor, negotiating your terms, and then it becomes a continuous process. So it's really important to have a post-purchase evaluation to determine whether or not you made the right decision and selected the correct vendor. Dual channel marketing involves selling products to both consumers and business markets. It often begins with the business to business market. Individuals like a brand they're using at work and purchase the brand for personal use, which is a spin-off sales. So Starbucks, for example, would be a company involved in dual channel marketing because the company sells coffee to both consumers and businesses. Buyer behaviors vary widely around the world. So a cultural assimilator is a valuable person to have on staff to assist in marketing plans for other countries. And it's important to understand the purchase process. So the way products are purchased in the US is not the same as it is in Japan, Brazil, or other parts of the world. Having a strong brand name helps with global expansion, and even for business to business markets, global brands are important.